Alright, okay. What's the topic for today? You might say. I would say it's the passive money mindset. The passive money mindset is a pretty important thing, I would say. Uh, Basically, being successful to me comes down to a lot of research that I've done and understanding that, you know, a lot of being successful really comes down to having the right mindset. You could put in all the work, all your effort, everything that you do, and at the end of the day, if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to be in that 10%, that top percent that you want to be in. So mindset is really important if you're trying to see the income that you want in your life. So obviously, there's another topic for another day, another video for another day. You got to know what you want. You got to be focused on like precisely what you're trying to see. So at the end of the day, it might be coming your way if you really got things down. If you really got things down to the right mindset. So I'm gonna go on with that. So part of that right mindset about success is knowing that the majority of successful people have multiple sources of income, right? So they got different checks, like money coming in. Most of that's passive income. You know, it's another topic for another day, and so I'll just drop it right there for the ones that don't know. And the passive income source, they really do flow like nothing that came before. So some things that I cannot ignore are having multiple sources of income and making sure that you don't have just one job, because that's really what most people are conditioned to believe, is that uh, basically their income is gonna equate to whatever job that they have. So it's like a way of thinking like, uh, if I have a good job and I make a lot of money, which a lot of money, that's all relative. The main thing is to not be thinking in terms of how much money can I make from this one source. Another big part of that is not having your eggs in one basket. When you've got one source of income, all your eggs are in that one basket. And if something were to happen to that basket, man, them eggs are gonna crack. So, gotta diversify sources of income. Another thing about the passive money mindset is knowing that the way to make money, the way to be successful, is not thinking about trading your time for money. So, like, this is something I wanted to really get into at the beginning, but it's alright, I'll get into it now. Basically, I feel like I feel a lot of other people that I look to as mentors and people that are in my same field all seem to agree that right now is about at least the last few generations that we understand right now is the greatest opportunity to really be successful and really turn your hobbies and the things that you are passionate about into sources of income that you would enjoy and it won't feel like work. So basically, this ties into not trading your time for money, because that's the way that most people out there are conditioned to think is, I gotta trade my time. How much time do I have to put in before I can get a raise? How much am I gonna like valuing themselves at how much like money they make per hour or per year? Really, that's not how you're gonna get ahead. I mean, it can work in some cases, but it's gonna take a long time. And there's a more and more as time goes by chance that the one thing that you did 5 years ago isn't going to be working 5 years in the future. Times are going to keep changing. You got to keep adapting. Which, if you're thinking about just your time and the way that equates to money, that's not going to help you. You need to be thinking about, what contributions can I make? What can I create that's going to provide value? And based on the magnitude of the value that you create, that that's the mindset that you want, is how much value can I create, how many people can I help, because that's really going to determine how much money you make, not how much time you put in. Like you could create something in an hour that creates a million times more value than somebody that put 10 years of their life into something. Just looking at, it's the value of the thing that you create. So that's what you want to be focused on, not the trading your time for the money. Okay, the next thing I would say with this having this mindset of being successful with passive income or just life or anything in general is providing value everywhere you go. This is super important. Um, and this is not something that's even really tied to the money. Like you shouldn't be thinking about, how much am I gonna make for this value? It should just be like your natural daily operating mode would be like I'm gonna go to the store and then if I see anything on my way that I can provide value to, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm just always any situation I'm in, talking to people, just random people. Like, oh, I see an opportunity that I can provide value. Most ways that I would do this, I would say, is just informing people about stuff. When I see someone reflecting on something that they don't really understand and I can step in and I provide value in an informative way, just using my own information, that can be 100 times more helpful than just giving someone on the street $1 because they need something to eat, right? Like feed it, like teach someone how to fish, don't give them the fish type thing. Just everything you do, just looking at like how can I provide value, and with no monetary uh, expectations, just providing value. And basically, if you keep doing that, you'll just naturally do that. You won't even have to think, it'll just come naturally. And then in everything you do, your mindset is going to be about providing value. And like I said before, that's where the money comes in, that's where the success comes in, is providing the value. So you just want to be like that naturally. All right. Okay, this leads to the next step for the day. Probably the last step, is I would say, is all about enjoying what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, man, what's the point, right? You gotta enjoy it. Like, like look at how many people out there are talking about, well, I was gonna do this, but I found out how much money that you make if you do that, so I decided that I'm gonna do this. Um, I mean, just think about it. Like, how does that sound? Like, if you could have $100 million, but if you hate what you do every day, you're gonna have a heart attack, right? You're just gonna like not be really into it. So basically, from what I see, one of the main tricks to making cheese and growing your bank account and achieving your dreams and goals and visions, from what I know, is to just focus on doing what you enjoy. Plan everything around that. Build everything around that. Design your business around that. Design your sources of income around that. Because really, if you're wanting to provide value with something, then it should be something that you're an expert at. And if it's something that you're an expert at, then you better like what you're doing. Because you got to put in that practice and that work and that time. But if it's, like I said before, if it's what you want to do, then it's not really work. It's just practice. It's just fun. Yeah, so I hope I provided some value here. Hope I can provide value in the future and in the past and in everything. Really, the passive income mindset, whatever you want to call it, is just a successful mindset. Really comes down to some simple steps. But it's like a habit. Like if you're just learning this, uh, before you've gone through the system, then you gotta step up. But if you've already gone through that system, then you kind of gotta unlearn the things that have caused your mindset not to bring you success. And really, one of the first steps to doing that is becoming aware of the things and the thoughts, the mindset that is blocking and stopping success. So being aware of that, unlearning that, and then learning the correct methods.